So, you've been invited in for a job interview. Congratulations! The job interview is the last hurdle of the job application process. And if you make a good impression, you'll get the job. Here at StandOut CV, we've helped thousands of people to ace their job interviews and land their dream jobs. Hopefully, the advice in this video will do the same for you. This video guide will show you every step you need to take in order to properly prepare for your job interview and ensure you get the job offer. Here's what will be covered. A few days before the interview. Understanding the company and role. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Planning your journey and equipment. Practicing essential interview questions. The night before the interview. Preparing your clothing. Reviewing your preparation. Packing your bag. On the day of the interview. Traveling and arriving. Beating the interview nerves. Before we get started, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the StandOut CV channel. We make lots of interview and job hunting advice videos to help you land the jobs you want. Now let's dive in, starting from the moment you receive the interview invite. Firstly, when you receive the invitation to interview, be sure to send the interviewer or recruiter an email which thanks them for the invite and confirms you will be attending. It's a simple touch, but it reassures the interviewer you will be attending and makes you look professional. If you need to book time off from your current job or make any other arrangements such as childcare, do it as soon as you can so that your diary is free. A few days before the interview. Most companies will give you at least a few days' notice for a job interview, so get started on your preparation straight away. Don't leave it until the last minute. Here's an overview of what you need to do in the days before the interview. Understand the company. Understand the role. Know why you are a good fit for the role. Know your weaknesses. Plan the journey. Prepare what you need to take. Practice common interview questions. Prepare questions to ask the interviewer. Let's start with understanding the company. If you want to be taken seriously at interview stage, you need to understand what the organization does. This will also help you to decide whether or not they are the sort of company you would like to work for. So what sort of information do you need to know? What services or products they offer? Who their customers or clients are? Who their competitors are? Which markets and locations they operate in? Recent news or achievements? Company culture and values? And key people in the business. You won't always be able to find all of this information, but try to find as much of it as you can. If you are applying to a fairly small company, then it will be enough to simply research the company as a whole. But if you are applying to a big organization, then you will need to research more specifically into the area or team you are applying for. So, where can you find this information? The company website. Your first port of call should be the company website, which should at least give you a general idea about the company and what they do, along with any key people in the business. Many companies will also have a blog, which will give you an insight into some of their recent work and company culture. News and industry websites. In order to find out about the firm's current affairs, you can try scanning through some relevant industry publications online, or even running a news search on Google. Social media. Social media can give you some big insights into a firm's recent campaigns and even how they interact with customers. Search them on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and scan through some of their recent activity and even check out some of their employee profiles if you can find them. Ask the recruiter. If your vacancy is being managed by a recruiter, then don't be afraid to pick up the phone and ask them about the company you are interviewing at. You may acquire some insider knowledge that you aren't able to find on the internet. Understanding the role. Employers will not offer a job to someone who reaches interview stage and doesn't seem to understand the role, so make sure that you fully understand the job being offered. The best way to do this is by studying the job specification and making yourself completely familiar with the responsibilities of the job. If you haven't received a job spec yet, then you need to ask the recruiter or hiring manager to send you one. And if they can't provide one, you need to ask them to provide you with some more details on the role via telephone or email. To understand the job fully, think about points like this. What the overall goal of the role is. Which area or team you will be working in and who you will be reporting to or managing. People you are required to interact with, like customers, suppliers, and regulators. Tools and software packages you will be using. Product or service knowledge required. Work you will be producing. Depending on your industry, this could be anything from reports, design work, and web applications through to physical products like cars or buildings. Environments you will be working in. For example, will you be working on a busy sales floor or in a high-profile government building? Know why you are a good fit for the role. If you want to sell yourself in a job interview, it's really important that you understand why you will be a good fit for the job in question. Once you understand the company and the role, this part should be fairly easy. You just need to match your skills and knowledge up to the job responsibilities. Look at each requirement on the job description and make notes on how you meet them with your skills and experience. Doing this should prepare you for most questions the interviewer asks you around your suitability. Much of the interview process is based around proving why you are suitable for the role, so having it mapped out like this is really helpful. Go over these notes a few times in the build-up to your interview in order to properly familiarize yourself with them. Know your weaknesses. There are likely to be some elements of the job where your skills don't quite match up to the employer's expectations, but that's okay. How you handle these shortcomings is what matters. The idea is to recognize your weaknesses and have a plan of how you will combat them in the workplace to ensure you perform well in your job. For example, you may be applying for a job where you tick most of the boxes except one, like this. A job specification may ask for 2 years retail experience, qualification A and qualification B. You might have 5 years retail experience and qualification A, but perhaps you don't have qualification B. In this instance, you can be sure that interviewers will want to ask about this weakness, so you need to be prepared for questions about it. So if an interviewer were to ask a question like, "Why do you not have qualification B?" then you need to provide an answer which recognizes your weakness and shows how you will work around it, like this. Although I don't have qualification B, I feel that my 5 years of experience has given me the knowledge to deal with any situation in this area. I am also working towards the qualification this year through self-funded studies. This answer shows that you recognize the weakness, you are stronger in other areas to compensate, and you are working towards improving yourself in that area. It's important that you understand all of your weaknesses in relation to the job spec so that you can answer tough questions like this. Plan your journey. If you're traveling a significant distance to your job interview, then plan your route well in advance. Whether you're driving or taking public transport, learn your route and even a backup alternative in case of travel disruptions. Essentially, do whatever you can to avoid being late, because being late could ruin your interview before it's even started. If you are not familiar with the area of the building, it may be worth making a practice journey a few days before, if you have the time. It will alleviate some of the pressure on the day. Prepare anything you need to take. You'll need to take a few interview essentials with you on the day, along with anything you've been asked to bring specifically by the employer. Make sure you have all of these items ready well in advance. You don't want to be rushing around trying to locate them at the last minute on the day of the interview. Here's what you need to take. 1. Multiple copies of your CV, to ensure you have a copy for everyone you meet. Print them off nice and early to avoid any printer mishap issues. 2. A pen and pad to take notes. 3. The job description, including your notes. It's handy to revise these on your journey if possible. 4. The interview details, either saved to your phone or printed. 5. Relevant certificates, or anything the interviewer has asked you to bring specifically. 6. Examples of your work. If you are in a creative industry such as graphic design, then you may have a portfolio of your work to take with you. Non-creative professionals can think outside the box a little and use things like sales figures, awards, and client testimonials, but don't worry if you can't find anything relevant. 7. A smart folder or bag to put everything in will help you stay organized and look professional. 8. You also need to make sure that anything you are planning to wear is clean and ironed. Practice common interview questions. Before you walk into an interview, it's important to know how you will answer some of the most common interview questions so that you can answer them quickly and confidently on the day. Although you can never predict every question that's going to be asked at a job interview, you can be sure that some of the most popular interview questions will arise in some form or another. Questions like, why do you want this job? Why should we hire you? Why are you leaving your current job? You need to know how you will answer these 3 questions in particular well before you walk into the interview. To help you plan your answers to these questions and more, you can check out our blog post on the 20 most common interview questions and how to answer them. There is a link to it in the description. If possible, practice answering the questions with a friend or at least reading the answers out loud to yourself. It just helps to get you in the habit of reeling them off naturally. Prepare questions to ask the interviewer. There will likely be a point in the interview where you will be asked if you have any questions, so it's good to have some prepared. Asking the right questions can make you appear keen and diligent, which will impress the interviewer. You may already have some questions about the role, but if not, try to ask something on the subject of progression and development to let the interviewer know that you are looking to work hard and make a commitment. Ask questions like, what opportunities are there for career progression? Do you offer training and development? Where can I expect to be after a year in this role? Avoid asking questions like, how long are the lunch breaks? When can I take my first holiday? These types of questions could make you appear as though you don't really care about the job. Save them until after they've made you an offer. So just to summarize, here's everything that we've just covered for the first few days before the interview. Understand the company. Understand the role. Know why you are a good fit for the role. Know your weaknesses. Plan the journey. Prepare what you need to take. Practice common interview questions. Prepare questions to ask the interviewer. Now we move on to the night before the interview, which includes preparing your clothing, reviewing your preparation, packing your bag. The night before your interview should be a fairly relaxed evening. You don't want to be doing anything too stressful that might affect your mood negatively. You've done most of the hard work in the previous few days. There are just a few final bits of preparation left. Preparing your clothing. To save any last-minute panic on the morning of the interview, pick out what you are going to wear the night before. Make sure that clothes are clean and ironed, shoes are polished, and everything is laid out ready to put on in the morning. Work dress code has changed in recent times, with many offices now promoting a more casual style. But when it comes to interview stage, it's always a safe bet to go smart. For guys, you can't go wrong with a suit and tie, with a smart pair of shoes. For ladies, a smart skirt with a collared shirt and blazer will work. Go over your preparation. Over the past few days, you will have researched the company, studied the job spec and made notes on your suitability, noted how you will overcome your weaknesses, practiced some common interview questions, prepared some questions to ask the interviewer. So just spend about 30 minutes to an hour revisiting all of your preparation to keep everything fresh in your mind for the big day. Pack your bag or folder. Once you've finished up your preparation, pack your bag or folder with everything you need to take to the interview. As mentioned earlier, this includes a few copies of your CV, the job description with your notes on, a pen and pad, relevant qualifications, examples of your work if possible, questions you have prepared, the interview details, either written down or saved to your phone. With your things packed and outfit ready, you will save lots of valuable time in the morning and avoid any last-minute worries. Don't forget to check the travel news for the next day and make sure that your route is still in operation. Get a good night's sleep. Spend some time relaxing before getting off to bed nice and early. You will function much better after a good night's sleep. In fact, most adults need between 7.5 and 9 hours of sleep to perform at their best. Set a couple of alarms for the morning. You do not want to wake up late. On the day of the interview. When the interview day arrives, there are only a few more things left to do in order to give yourself the best chance of success. Aim to arrive in the area 30 minutes early. When you set off, check the travel news again and aim to arrive in the general vicinity of the interview building around 30 minutes before it starts. There are 2 reasons for setting off in this time. 1. If you have any unexpected travel disruptions, the extra time should hopefully mean you still arrive on time. 2. Hopefully you should arrive to the area with time to spare and you can do the following. Find the entrance to the building. Find the nearest coffee shop or cafe. Grab a drink whilst you go over your notes again one last time. Doing this will ensure that you are on time and avoid any rushing around, helping you to feel calm and prepared. Do not actually arrive to the interview 30 minutes early though. You don't want to be sitting awkwardly in their reception for half an hour. Arriving 5 to 10 minutes early is perfect. Beating the nerves. Having done all of the above preparation should certainly go some way to helping you beat the nerves. But there's one more tip that can help you on the day. Start a conversation with a stranger on the way. Like any skills, social skills get better with practice, and it's good to get some practice in on the day of your interview. On your journey to the interview, give your social muscles a warm-up by starting a conversation with a stranger. This simple act will help you to become more comfortable talking to people that you've not met before and can be a great way to shake pre-interview nerves. So you could try popping into a shop for some chewing gum and asking the person on the till how they are. Asking a train attendant a question about your journey. If you pass people handing out leaflets or samples at the train station, you could try to strike up a conversation about what they are doing. And lastly, a couple of confidence boosters. If you suffer from interview nerves or just need a little confidence boost, remember the following 2 things. The employer invited you in for the interview, so you must have impressed them already. A company would not bring you in for an interview if they didn't think you were a good candidate. The interviewer has already shown faith in you by inviting you in, so just prove to them that they made the right choice. It's just another interview. If you manage to land this interview, then it's likely you will be able to land more. So yes, take it seriously, but it's not the end of the world if you don't get that particular job. There are lots out there. Hopefully this guide has given you everything you need to prepare for your upcoming job interview. Essentially, you just need to understand why you are the best candidate for the job and present this case to the interviewer in a professional manner. If you follow all the steps above, then you will walk into the interview with 90% of the work already done. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more interview and job hunting advice. Good luck in your job interview!